The Prime Minister said the UK will recognise a Palestinian state by September unless Israel takes substantive steps to end the situation in Gaza. While many Labour MPs have welcomed the plan, opposition parties accuse Sir Keir Starmer of using the statehood as a bargaining chip, while Israel claims the UK is rewarding Hamas with the move. Fleur Hassan Nahoum, Israel's Special Envoy for Trade and Innovation and former Deputy Mayor of Jerusalem, joins me now to discuss this. What is your immediate reaction?
Well, here in Israel, people are very disappointed because they certainly see this as a prize to Hamas, who started a war on October 7th, did the worst massacre Jewish people have ever had here in the modern state of Israel. And now, behold, almost 2 years later, there's a declaration of statehood, something which, by the way, they don't want. And in Keir Starmer's speech, he makes all these conditions on Israel, some of them based on false information, but there's no conditions on Hamas, no conditions on the Palestinians, no conditions to renounce terrorism, no conditions, for example, to return the hostages. So how unlikely is this hostage deal now looking when Keir Starmer has strengthened the hand of the terrorists?
Do you think that there will be a Palestinian state one day? Does there deserve to be one?
I do believe in the self-determination of the Palestinian people, indeed, but I'm just very cynical because we have tried 5 times. And since the very beginning, since 1947, when the British Mandate of Palestine existed, even the governor here, the British governor would say, well, I've got 2 people on my hands, one that want a state and the other one that don't want the first lot to have a state. And so that's never been the aspiration of the Palestinian leadership, that the Palestinians need to get better leaders. And that's really what Keir Starmer, the British government and other governments around the world should be doing, investing in the leadership of the Palestinian people that doesn't believe in destroying the state of Israel, but living side by side with the state of Israel. You've got Hamas. We all know what their charter says, the complete destruction of Israel. They don't believe in a 2-state solution. And then you've got Mahmoud Abbas in the PA that is the authority of 94% of the Palestinians in Judea and Samaria in the West Bank. And he's paying terrorists pensions to kill Jews. And he has an educational system, actually partly funded by the UK, that is teaching Palestinian children that the best thing they can do with their lives is martyr themselves for the cause. So 0 conditions on the Palestinian leadership about their rhetoric and about their philosophy and about how they handle their people, and all the conditions on Israel, who was attacked on October 7th. It seems very unfair and very unrealistic that anything will happen. I mean, what are the borders of this Palestinian state?
I mean,
who's he going to recognize?
Clearly, Fleur, almost all of this has been triggered by the terrible situation in Gaza right now. Those were the words used by the Prime Minister, saying the appalling situation in Gaza. Is that a fair trigger for any government to want to up pressure for that appalling situation to end?
If he wants the appalling situation to end, why is he not pressing for Hamas to actually come to the deal? They have a deal. They've rejected another deal that Israel became even softer on, compromised even more in the last week. So it just seems a little bit counterproductive that instead of putting the pressure on the terror group that is rejecting the ceasefire, to put the pressure on the only democratic country in the Middle East that is trying to get to a ceasefire. Yes, the situation is terrible in Gaza, but who caused this? The food is not getting to the people, not because of Israel. Israel is putting it on the other side of the border. The distribution is not happening. Hamas is stealing aid. Is there really so much widespread hunger and famine when the iconic picture of a starving child is a child that the New York Times have admitted today is a child who's sick with a congenital illness and not a starving child? When you can see the picture of his mother and she doesn't look like she's starving. So there's a lot of propaganda going on.
Well, forgive me, Fleur, I think you did acknowledge, though, yourself, that the situation in Gaza is appalling.
I never said appalling. I said it's a difficult situation because we're in a war. Absolutely. But who in the middle of a war that hasn't yet finished starts making declarations about the end of the war without giving a chance to the hostages to come back, to Hamas to come to the table and sign a ceasefire?
People people make extra demands, when innocent children are dying. We only have 30 seconds left, forgive me. Do you acknowledge that that is happening?
There are people dying in the Gaza Strip for one reason and one reason alone, because they're run by a genocidal terrorist group called Hamas.
Do those innocent children, 20 seconds, sorry, deserve to die?
Nobody deserves, no innocent life deserves to die. But again, we didn't start the war. You can't start a war, create a massacre, rape and kill women and children, and then say, oh no, sorry, stop now. That's not how it works. We have to get rid of Hamas and we have to return our hostages. If Keir Starmer wants to be useful, that's what he should be helping us with.
Thanks for your time today.